Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the Please Understand podcast, Minnesota sports done by the casuals. We're knocking in here on a Wednesday, December 3rd. Probably one of the toughest weeks of the year. I don't know about you guys, but I was dreading Monday. I think
You really were.
even on Friday, I was like, I had some like family over, like putting up the tree. And I'm like, God, it's already basically Monday. And I'm already like feeling like shit, dude. It's already like January 5th. We're already back from holiday break. Like the Sunday scare, I'm just a mental basket case when it comes to that stuff. But Monday was tough. It's been a tough week. Like Thanksgiving week, or it's turning into a full week. I feel like it used to be like, hey, you got Thursday and Friday off. Isn't that great? Which for Thanksgiving, like it's weird that you get 2 like work days off for that holiday. It's like, okay, just kind of a made up whatever, but if you're giving them out, I'll take them for sure. We got ball pretty much
100%.
And that turned into like, well, people are cutting out early on Wednesday, and now it's like, well, Tuesday pretty light, and even like Monday, people are like, oh, fuck this, let's just round up.
Yeah, why not?
It's been tough. The Minnesota sports scene only making it worse. I feel like we're getting back to like our bread and butter, but that's not even really true. Like we're getting the Vikes for sure. We're going to be getting into that here, so everybody dock in for some fireworks. But like, this is bad by our standards. Like we're usually our heartbreak comes in not just like the doormat of the league style. Our heartbreak is get your hopes up and then have them dashed in the worst possible way. It's not usually just the 26-0, the 4 picks, 5 turnovers, just absolute like laughing stock embarrassment that we've been put through the last couple weeks. And there's a lot of tweets. We'll get to a lot of stuff, a lot of data. We got folks trickling in to the live chat, live stream here on X, on YouTube. While we're warming up here, go ahead and find us on Spotify, on Apple. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to all the bullshit. Everyone's probably
what it is.
Don't you guys want more subscriptions in 2025 and 26?
Hey, this one costs nothing, so
right. Just got to put up with our bullshit, which is
that's a bunch of casuals here.
So dock in. It's gonna be a safe space. Any Vikings topics, questions you want to throw out there. This is not gonna be a Kool-Aid drinking fest by any stretch of the imagination, right? Like I wouldn't say we're all like the 10 out of 10 full on like diehards like a lot of people are out there, but I mean we're watching every game pretty much every season, and maybe it's just over the years you get kind of the the life beat out of you watching this team and following this team over the course of time, but
it still hurts regardless.
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, like we'll get into all of that stuff, but yeah, big Vikings therapy session here to start off. We'll try to kick around really airing of grievances. Say whatever you want to say, whatever you feel like you got to say. We'll try to maybe talk about like how do you even turn this ship around. I mean, it's even that looks like a pretty tall order. And then, we got some Wolves stuff to get to. We've finally beat a couple of 500, above 500 squads. Congratulations to us. And then did our best to resort back to old habits and try to lose to the league's worst team last night. So that's great. And I want to get to some mainly Wolves OKC stuff because what are they now? 19-1 OKC. So I want to kind of just unpack that NBA Cup L, no less, just really stings.
Extra hard.
Yeah, it's tough. So we'll get into some of that stuff. We got some shout outs, some stuff at the end to wrap it up. We'll try to keep it a nice tight hour here, 6:30 to 7:30. If you're on your drive home or eating dinner or who knows what you're up to, working out, trying to get some cardio in, listening to us blabber on about stuff. But before we open it up to Vikes stuff, I did some wanted to do a little digging around here. In our era of watching Vikes, for the most part, we've had good offenses. We've had a lot of like Hall of Fame players come through here. Going back to kind of our earlier days of watching Vikes fans, it was kind of like Moss into AP into like Diggs, and now we got Jefferson. Like we've always had like some just like first team all pro weapons on the offense. And then you watch that game Sunday, and man, it's all you can do not to just like throw up in your hands watching it. So I was like, let me look this up. I'm like, how do I even like figure out how like historically bad this is? So I just went on to like Pro Football Reference, and they had a couple of just kind of low hanging fruit stats. So I want to throw this out to you guys just real quick. So Vikings right now, they're 28th in points per game. Pretty bad. You would have thought not 32.
Yeah, right.
But it's like I think the usual suspects. I'm trying to think who's at the bottom. It's like Saints, Raiders, Titans, and Browns probably. I think was the other one. So it's like, I mean, there's 4 real easy bars to clear to even get to that point. Although we're throwing our hat in the ring here of
take
late.
That Bengals game out, that 48 points against the Bengals. I mean, man,
yeah,
you're right there.
The Isaiah Rodgers game we'll all be telling our grandkids about. So they're 28th in points. So I want to ask you guys, when was the last time you think we finished worse than that in a season? Worse than 20 or 28th or worse?
Just throw out a number. I'll just go maybe the 1900s, was it?
1890s?
No, the 1900. 1900
for sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, so the other part of this is like when did they go to 32 teams? Like 1995 or something, when they added like Jacksonville and Carolina or something. Yep. So I didn't look that up either. So that might soften the blow.
Probably like 2007. Then I want to say, just throwing a number out there.
You're saying it's
07.
No, I was asking Hags. You're saying it's like since they added those teams?
Well, I just looked up every year of our history. So
I'm gonna say like the 1980s, like 1981 or something like that.
Like way back. So that
yeah.
Technically that could be true depending on how many teams were way back in that day. I don't really remember, but
okay.
For the purposes of the 32 team era, never have we been worse. This is the worst points per game in Vikings history. So, because it feels like it, don't you think? When you watch this team, like
I feel like the eye test is worse.
Yeah, like we're usually eye test guys where you're like, hey man, let's see what the data has to say. And I'm like, hopefully like it's not as bad as it looks, but because it looks, it's as much as you can stomach. I mean, on Sunday, I'm like, dude, I'm done with this. Like third quarter, end of the third quarter, into the fourth. I'm like, dude, I'm just taking a nap. Like, fuck this. Like, this is what even is this?
And
this
it's not even just. It's so easy to, and I'm not trying to, put blame somewhere else because the quarterback situation deserves a lot of it. But it's everybody on that offense. Nobody can catch a pass. Nobody can like pick up a block. Like I don't know. The pass catching thing is just crazy to me. Like even some of these throws that aren't on target, it's like these are balls these guys usually come down with.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to watch. Like nothing is good at all.
And that's JJ. You were thinking that maybe at some point you're like, well, is JJ just slinging it in there way too hard? And it's like the same exact shit with Max the following week. So it's definitely plenty on the receivers. But like the O-line hasn't panned out at all like we thought. I know there's been injuries, but like Brian O'Neill is like, what's he anymore? I don't really like feel too great about him out there at all. Will Fries hasn't really jumped off the page. Donovan Jackson, he was out again. Jury's still out on him. I know he's a rookie, and then the center position just is forever just not going to work out for us regardless. Although Ryan Kelly, nice to see him in there with the Guardian cap. So shout out to him. But yeah, points per game, never been worse. So Skull.
Good times. Good times.
Skull Vikes. So the next one I saw too, I was just like, this is all offensive related because the defense is, middle of the pack, points and yards. They're doing all they can to keep the floodgates from opening up. And our offense is allowing a lot of points as well, going the other way. But so we are 29th in yards per game. So when do you think was the last time we were that bad or worse? This was an interesting
it's another trick question. We are at our worst.
You think this is rock bottom?
Yeah.
I wonder if there's just like a year where there's some injuries or something, or like maybe even like the Peterson year because we don't throw the ball. I'm not sure on that one.
You're on the right track. It was 2015 actually. Made playoffs, lost in the wild card. Shout out to Blair Walsh. Thanks, bud. Way to show up. But that was a Teddy season.
Teddy,
outdoors as well. So it's just the offense, I guess, was like you said, probably time of possession, run the ball, game manager.
Defense was super good. Yeah.
Possibly a strategy that could have been used this season. But hey, what do we know? And you were talking about like the people or like who on the offense isn't underperforming. And it's probably the guy who has like the lowest bar to clear, Jordan Mason, who just is like, yeah, he's another game doing pretty good. Not really too heavily involved, but I'm not gonna, he's not the first guy I'm going after. Last one, Vikings rank 32nd in takeaways per game, and that's another one where I think eye test meets up to the data. And I think again, I was in and out of a coma on Sunday due to this atrocious football, but I think we have 9 takeaways on the season, I believe, and 5 of them were against Cincinnati. I think I heard that mentioned.
Sounds about right.
At some point.
You said, well, and it's funny, every stat you bring up, you just said we have 9 takeaways on the season. I was like, it seems high. It doesn't seem like they're ever
the other 4.
Yeah, exactly.
So that we have never been last in takeaways ever. So another notch on the belt.
Hey,
feather in the hat.
Yeah. So we were talking earlier, like the offense is kind of what we've always seen and had kind of as the our, I guess, style of ball, but the defense back in the some of the early 2000s, like we didn't have 32nd, but we were trying. There was a 30th and just in 2023, 29th in 2010, and then back-to-back 31sts in 2001, 2002, which I think was the year I think we ushered in the Mike Tice era. That was a Denny to Tice transition. So not exactly turning teams over. So I guess now we can get to just whatever you guys want to complain about or bring up. I mean, I know a lot of the stuff we've been seeing just within the local media, like there's a lot of people going for KOC. Obviously the quarterback play has been bad. It's, sometimes we talk about it with NBA players where it's like when they get drafted way higher than they should, is that their fault? And even KOC had the quote that's getting passed around where he says like, how did it go? He's like, young quarterbacks don't fail organizations fail quarterbacks. Well, How's this going? How's this looking?
I want to go back 1 second when all the stats you were just talking about. It's interesting to be like that low in all the offensive categories and then also in takeaways on defense. But I really think they go hand in hand, because when you have those offenses that are so good, like you think about like the 15-1 Vikings in 98, the offense is so good, they're ahead by so much, that just presents like a problem for opposing offenses where it's like, well, we have to throw, and it kind of feeds into you, like, what their other team is going to do. So it's easier to get turnovers. It's easier to jump routes when you have a big lead. And in this situation, we can't score any points. So the defense is like, well, shit, we got to do all we can do to just maintain here and not make this situation worse than it already is. As far as like the scoreboard, they start jumping routes and trying to make things happen. Big plays go the other way, and now it's 40-0 or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting how those stats do go hand in hand, even though it's two different sides of the ball.
Yeah, for sure. And they're on the field the whole fucking game. So like eventually they wear down, and that's kind of how it's been going in the past two games, like at Seattle, at Green Bay. Like those are tough. And we were hanging on for a while, like a little while. I guess Green Bay was more just like the first half, and then Seattle, I guess we held on for like a quarter and did get a turnover and then threw a pick six. How about that? Last stat I'll throw out there. This was kind of going around too. Aaron Schatz, he's been covering the NFL forever. He was tweeting out one of the advanced, metric that they have in the NFL, DVOA. And by DVOA metrics, this was the worst offensive game in Vikings history against Seattle by a lot.
Yep.
And, take what you will into these numbers. Like, it's just kind of again, like war, right? Like, what is it? But we just kind of all accept it as like a measurement in baseball, just to kind of ballpark or, just to quantify how good or bad something is. And our previous worst was 1984 against San Diego. Remember them? And it was like minus 68.7%. So that's the number they applied to this. And Sunday against Seattle was minus 96.8. So like quite a bit worse than even our most recent or the last time we were this bad. And I mean, and I think everyone's just like, yep, for sure. We watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't imagine a worst case scenario. So
8th on that list too is the Falcons game from this season. Little fun fact.
Do they like a whole? Is that a whole Vikings list? Like, because right away when you think of really bad games, you think of like Josh Freeman game, Spurgeon win game. There's probably some Ponder games in there.
34 donut game.
Yeah, you do. And then you look at this and you're like, man, this is worse than all of those. Holy shit.
Almost combined.
Yeah,
exactly. It was that bad. It was that bad. And it sure did show. And it just gets you back to the whole process of like, Brosmer had to come in there. I guess you didn't really have anyone else if McCarthy was concussed. But you know what I could do without is all this other shit about like man, he was our secret. We didn't we brought him to this, what was it, senior day or whatever, what was it, senior day that they did that? I can't remember exactly what they did, but they're like, he was our secret. We didn't want him getting out. Like, don't be hyping this shit up. And they like the stuff with McCarthy with, the 9 nickname, like you're just making yourselves look so fucking stupid. And it's just like, man, like they're kind of just stepping their foot in this the whole season, really. And it's just back and forth. They can't make a right decision. I know we were just like, blindly hopeful that like, could it be any worse? Going from JJ to Brosmer, let's see what this is. And it's like, yeah, it's way worse. No, he was undrafted for a reason. So I don't know, Jake. Who do you want to destroy this week after all this shit is going off the rails?
Yeah.
Who you got in your sights?
Yeah, I don't know. We've gone through points A through Z already, but let's. Yeah, Max. Sorry, bud. We all, or at least I knew that was going to be a complete and utter disaster. Sorry that 90% of Vikes Twitter thought he was going to be our savior. Way to no ball, Twitter. Congratulations. I like to apologize to Nick Mullins because he's apparently a decent quarterback. I've been hating on him for years, and he's 1,000 times better than Max.
Little did we know how good he was.
Yeah. Turns out he can actually do something, unlike Max. But yeah, that was complete embarrassment. Seattle put us down like a dog in the streets.
Oh.
It was just over from the first snap, man. That first pick he threw was just infuriating.
Were you guys laughing at that? Because I was. I thought
laughed
that was
so
the
loud.
funniest shit
Yes,
I've
by
ever
myself.
seen.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was funny.
It was an outburst.
Also,
and I texted you guys in the group chat, right? Like as a joke. And I kind of messed it up because we get that fumble. We're like basically in the red zone. And I'm like, all right, let's go tie it up. We were down 3-0, just being like, yeah, there's no way we're scoring a touchdown. I should have said this is going the other way. Like, because of course it would.
Yeah.
And they go for it on 4th down. I don't kill him for that. There were people being like, what are you doing rolling him out to the right? It's like, once again, the short yardage play calling. Let me pull up this. Let's see if I got this saved. this was another thing. Alex Lewis, he covers the Vikes. You guys have probably seen this. He tweeted this out on Monday. The Vikings are converting 36.1% of their third and shorts this season. Third and 3 or fewer that's what it's defined as. Third lowest of any team since the year 2000. Only the 2015 Titans and the 2001 Eagles have been worse. League average over that span, the 25-year span, 60%, and we are about half of that. So again, just more data to back up what we're seeing, like with the complaining of KOC just won't run the fucking ball. And like, wasn't that the plan? You got the young quarterback. Let's get the line bolstered up. We'll run the fucking ball to help them out. And they just, every week we come on here and say the same thing as we look at like 4.5 to 5.5 yards per carry. And he just can't fucking like help himself with some of these play calls. It's ridiculous.
Hey, that pick six that Max threw, let me ask you guys, what was a funnier play? That pick six or Younghoe Koo sticking his foot in the ground on that field goal attempt?
That was pretty good too. I'm going Max, so that was
a couple nominees.
Most embarrassing thing I've ever seen.
I'm not totally convinced Younghoe Koo didn't do that on purpose, man. My first thought was investigate this, FBI. Like, that'd be such an easy like player prop thing to cash. Be like missed kick during a game. Because how do you chunk a kick that bad? Like, that was outrageous, man. Like,
yeah,
I've never seen any. I don't think anyone's ever seen that. My first thought was like, God, dude, all the like agreements and partnerships that these leagues are in with betting, and we're just starting to see the most fucked up shit happen all the time. And it's just like, oh, you're not fooling anybody, man. I thought right away, I'm like, how the hell are you chunking a kick that? Like, how did he not get hurt? Like, he was like a foot and a half behind the ball.
Yeah, aren't you like good enough to just, if it was that, aren't you good enough to just shank one? Like,
you could, push it right. I mean, throw people off the scent a little bit. Don't just take, don't lay the sod over a football. Jesus Christ. So Vikes again, is Quezzy, is he a dead man walking now? I think he's going to be the easiest guy to throw under the bus in the first one, just because of the way this roster is shaken out. You guys agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. We were talking, was it last week or the week before? We're like, yeah, if Quezzy stays around one more year, that'd be fine for kind of a last ditch effort for a prove it year. But no, just somebody's got to take the fall for this, and it's him or KOC. I think I'd rather keep KOC around one more year, see if he can maybe not be stubborn next year, and we'll see how that goes. But hopes are not high right now.
Yeah, and I think I brought it up a couple of weeks ago. The Wilfs they're an impatient group. Like, they don't like losing, and I just very much doubt like both of these guys are back just based on what we've seen on the field. Like, you just brought up so many stats about how horrible this is. Yeah. And on like so many different categories, and except Will, of course. So like the Wilfs, they don't mess around, man. I could see them making a change pretty quick.
We're not above having a bad season, but it can't look this way. It's so embarrassing, and like, it just reeks of incompetence, like up and down the organization. We always were thinking we got a pretty tight-knit front office all the way down to the head coach, right? Like, this is a pretty well-run organization, and man, it just went off the fucking rails this season. And I don't know if there's any saving it. They're going to be going back to JJ this week. So it's like, like Jake, you were saying, it's like, what's the downside? Like, you drafted him 10th. You might as well play him.
You have to play him. Yeah. Would you want to throw Max back out there? No.
Can't be any worse.
He's even on the roster still. Yeah.
And you know what could be worse? You're glad that shit happens on the road, because what's this crowd going to be looking like at US Bank on Sunday if more of this shit continues to transpire? It's going to get nasty in there, I think. And
it's going to anyway.
Few reasons that I'm ready to tune in. It's a noon game. I'll be awake. But I think another big question is, you're right. someone's got to take the fall. Quezzy's the easy guy. Like, we've been over this on the pod, like going through his drafts. They're terrible. That's another downside of resorting to free agency. And, you know, we had a great free agency last off season, and it just hasn't really worked out for us this year. And that's why, like, you don't really build a team through free agency in the NFL. You know, you don't know what you're getting with half of these guys, because your window as an NFL player is much smaller than other sports. And that, you know, that clock will strike zero on you when you don't really expect it for some guys. Like, another tweet I saw, Byron Murphy is like our worst graded starter. You know, and he would seem like the most no-brainer. Like, you know, he was a re-signing, but he's been awful. You know, so many of these guys, it's like, thank God for best linebacker in the NFL, Eric Wilson, giving us some fucking, putting some respect on our name. He's been amazing. And
He's great.
The players that we find that are good, we dig them out of the trash. Like, they're like undrafted, or like they're from the UFL or whatever, or like, you know, undrafted rookies. Like, we can't ever really seem to land. We're like 1 out of 7 when it comes to the draft. So it's like, you know, if that's the case, you know, he's going to be on his way out. I think they'll probably wait till the off season to do it. But I think the other big thing is that's being talked about. Can KOC work with a young quarterback, or does he have to have a veteran? You know, that you hear the talk of like dumbing down the offense. Like, that's apparently that's what they're selling this week. We're gonna finally try that with JJ in week, what is it, 14, 13? Do you guys think he can do that? I mean, that's to me is kind of like the final evaluation for KOC to stay here. Would you agree with that?
Why dumb down the offense at this point? We have to see if JJ can play. Like, I get like the beginning of the season, hey, let's run the ball. Like, we talked a lot in that first Bears game about the training wheels. But like, we have to see if this dude can play in the league. Like, he has 5 games left to prove that he belongs in the league, really. And I don't know, going out there and handing the ball off 40 times doesn't sound great. If that's the biggest, you know, question mark that we have, the biggest thing about this whole season, we preached it time and time again. We got to see if JJ can play. I don't know, man. I just, the whole thing is just such a mess. Like, where do you even begin?
Yeah, we're 10 weeks too late. So, but you have to turn it down though, because he's not learning anything. You're just throwing him out there in the fire. He's just playing Madden on all Madden mode when he should be on rookie. So you got to go out there and just give the guy a chance to actually do something, get a little bit of a cadence out there, complete some passes, not to the other team. So hopefully that's a 50-50 split of like running and passing. Just go with game script, obviously. If we're down 30 at halftime, then don't run the ball. That's fine. But you got to do something. Work some slants in there, some more screens. Just none of this play action, dumb stuff. None of these sniffs that KOC loves to take. Just... it's unreal that it takes this long, how stubborn he is. It really is just ruining his whole reputation, especially when it comes to like playoffs and stuff. Like, that's something you have to adapt to in playoffs. Like, you just go out there with your game plan and it's not working. The other team adapts and fixes it. You just stay your course. You're going to lose. That's why it's never going to happen, I don't think, with KOC if he stays in this mindset. It's just
too stubborn.
If he has the quarterback and he can run his offense, it's a very awesome, well-oiled machine. Train's going down the tracks, but right now we don't have a train with rails, and it's just sitting there. It's like, you have to do something here, man. You just can't keep trying to just push this thing down the fucking rails. It's not going to work.
Have we run a slant route in the KOC era?
I don't think he knows what it is.
I don't think he knows what it is.
No clue.
Yeah,
he must
have unbelievable.
Back in coach school, but he has no clue.
I've always said this about coaching. You got to like coach to your personnel. You can't just like ram a square peg into a round hole just based off of like your system, right? Like, you got to know what you have to work with. And he seems to have just completely disregarded that pretty much this whole season. And then, you know, we've talked about this too. I think it just makes you question, like, what was the whole process? Bringing in McCarthy, you let you got a win now team. you're kind of like talking out of both sides of your mouth where you're trying to develop a young quarterback. And I know everybody was where they were thinking like, if we get that rookie contract quarterback and we can just load up the team, it's like, well, you need to draft to load up the team as well, which you've missed on. So you've got like a bunch of like, so you thought a roster that was, ready to win now. And then you let the ready to win now quarterbacks leave the building. And, we've kind of agreed with that with like, I know Darnold's having a good year. How many years did we spend with the Kirk Cousins experiment? It's like, right, that thing has a ceiling to it. And we're going to find that out with Seattle, I think, in the playoffs. And, the Daniel Jones stuff, it's like, who would have really saw that coming? I'm not going to kill him for that. But, the stuff you hear from KOC now and some of these, it's like, well, the mechanics are all wrong. Well, you fucking drafted the guy. You didn't spot that at any point. All of a sudden, he's got mechanical issues, doesn't know how to learn the offense. He has poor pocket presence, and we're talking 5 games. Like, I don't know if that's enough. And he can't stay healthy. So it's like we're getting the worst of all possible scenarios here. And so what's the answer then to go into next year? Because I think everybody is thinking probably we need a veteran in here. We've bitched about not addressing the backup quarterback position. That was a blunder for sure. And they were still like that. We should have seen that. And maybe we did with the Carson Wentz trotting out like an actual like dead guy to play quarterback. What does that tell you about the rest of the guys? Like they're so not ready that we have to let Carson Wentz like die on the field. So I don't think there's a great crop of like veterans you can go sign. I'm not fucking trading for Kyler Murray. I get like Mac Jones. Like, I guess
Kyler Murray would look like a Hall of Famer compared to the 2 guys we have. And hey, I'm not saying I
$55 million.
Not at all. Not a chance I want him either. But like, man, it's bad.
So
I don't know.
An upgrade.
Yeah, but. Jake, what do you think? What do you think the plan should be?
I think JJ is still coming for next year, but we have to bring like a Joe Flacco would be perfect. I think to come in here, have a little competition in preseason, get something going. If he still doesn't have anything going, you let Joe go for a little bit as long as it can. But it's just next year is not going to be anything promising either. So Vikings fans, start getting your hopes down now because there's not a Super Bowl coming next year either. So unless somehow JJ just wakes up and is all of a sudden just knows how to play football, which it's not looking like that's going to be happening anytime soon. But yeah, you got to roll in. You got to get a little competition. Hopefully somewhere in the offseason he can work on some of this stuff because he was hurt maybe last year. So maybe he didn't get all this mechanical stuff and game speed all worked out as he thought he was. But yeah, this is just rolling into next year, and you gotta do something though to start. You just can't keep the course that we're on.
Yeah, Flacco would be good. I'm a Jameis guy. I know how that'll be. At least
be hilarious. Yeah,
at least it won't be boring.
Yeah,
won't be this.
But a winning strategy though would be a different one.
Yeah,
entertainment, Jameis all day. Yeah,
but you're right. I mean, temper your expectations now because this is going to be a slow turnaround, I think, unless JJ somehow just like, something goes off, a light bulb goes off or whatever. I was thinking about Bryce Young when they just beat the Rams. Is he in year 3 at this point?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
So it's like, and we've, we just saw it with Darnold. We're seeing it with Baker. There's all sorts of quarterback. Like it, we're talking, hey,
Sometimes it takes time.
It might take years. Like we're talking 5 games with JJ, and it's like he came into the league as one of the younger guys. So it's like he just hasn't played a lot of high level football really. And he's in and out of the lineup even this year. So it's like, you got to really take your time with this guy. But the lack of any sort of like veteran, even if Wentz would have stayed healthy, I don't know why we brought him in here. Like backup quarterback's an important position in the NFL, man. It just keeps you in the fight at least. Look at you mentioned Flacco. Like he would be great. Look, it doesn't seem like it. And some things have gone the Bengals' way. They're alive because of him. Like he was able to at least be like, hey man, I can at least keep this fucking car on the road for a little while until Burrow comes back. And now they have actually meaningful games to play. They might lose on Sunday to Buffalo, and that's it. But
it's all over. It's very small chance, but it's still a chance.
He did his job. It's just like just get me to when Burrow can come back. But again, here we are now. It's like we're always trying to find that quarterback of the future. Like we just never seem to be able to hit on anything, and it's still early, but the JJ stuff just does not look good. Maybe he can at least show us a little something here in this last five games. Have a healthy off season, but you got to be ready for worst case scenario next year because we're seeing it right now.
I was going to say that's about the only thing keeping us watching at this point. It's just hoping, blind hope, I guess, that something clicks for him. And, not even to say you're going to win any more games this season. I personally don't want them to win any more games this season. It would, hey, better draft pick. I mean, but they'll go win one they shouldn't for no reason at all. That's just how it works. And but I mean, just to see some progress out of him would be, that could make the difference in people's jobs. That's for sure.
Right. And like he beat Detroit on the road, like that happened. So it's like, find a way to like bottle that up, right. And even that was kind of, he kind of stalled towards the end, but you had a lead, but he made some plays. I think that's all we want. Like, I mean, you got the weapons, right? Like this isn't we always said, everybody was saying this is such a great landing spot for a young quarterback, which should maybe make you even more concerned again. But it's mock draft season. I think from a scheduling standpoint, I know when the schedules came out, we're like, man, look at this Christmas Day. We're about to have Vikes game, T-Wolves, Nuggets at night. I think everybody's Christmas is opening up a little bit more. And I think we're going to be getting flexed. We're supposed to play Dallas, I think, on a Sunday night.
I mean, be flexed, yeah.
Get ready for that flex any minute. Like that, they ain't putting us. Although maybe the boys just by themselves, now that they're in the mix, they draw ratings enough. But poor Greg Olson and who's the other guy with him? Joe Davis, I think. They had us 2 weeks in a row for that Green Bay and Seattle game, and they just that was probably the 2 worst weeks of their job that they've ever had. But yeah, mock draft season. I think as of right now, we're the 11th pick, and I feel like that's trending into the top 10. I don't know if Jaden Daniels is playing. It looked like he was limited in practice this week. They damn near beat Denver, right? So it's like any team I think we look at them like. So I think we're favored somehow. Maybe just because we're at home, but there aren't a ton of wins to be had. I don't think the rest of the way, but you said, we'll win something that we shouldn't. So,
well, hopefully it's against the Swine.
Yeah, Tech
if it's got to be one, if we got to pick one, I mean, go ahead and have that be the one.
That'll be the one, and maybe ruin their playoff chances or something. That would count a lot in my book. That would really mean a lot to me. So please do that. All right. Any other Vikes stuff other than Pro Bowler Eric Wilson and Will Reichert? That's about all we got.
It's depressing to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm fed up. Like, I'm not even like like you see a lot of like just venomous social media stuff, and it's like, dude, it's the Vikes, all right? They always let you down. They're just doing it in a weird way this year, and it's too bad that this time it looks like this could be a multi-year fuck up. That I think is what has people really upset. So we got the Wolves. That's our saving grace, kinda. Even though
is it
a lot of these games just piss me off. They piss me off more than the Vikes do, because I expect way more. But I do want to talk. I mean, this is a week old now, but that Wolves OKC game, that was the one we were all excited for. NBA Cup. How do you not get pumped? Took a tough L, but hung in with those guys. They weren't at full strength with Jalen Williams being out, and one of the rare times where he came back the next game, which is unusual for a Minnesota team. Usually, these guys are returning to play us. Mm-hmm. But Jake, what were some of your takeaways after watching that game? Are you feeling like like we've got a shot against them, or is it kind of just more of the same?
Pretty much just more of the same for the most part. It seems like I don't think we can in a series, 7-game series. Maybe we win 2 games this time, but it ain't. I don't think there's any way we beat them in a 7-game series.
19-1. I mean, Shea was
21-1 now.
Are they?
Yeah, it's like the one of the easiest strength of schedules in NBA history. So let's not just put them on a pedestal for anything. They're doing what they should do against very shitty teams. This is what the Wolves should be doing, is just beating up all these terrible teams and getting all the wins that way. Yeah. It's just nice to see a team actually do that. That's the only compliment I'll give the Thunder.
Yeah, they play hard all the time. Like
every game they try. It's weird.
Shouldn't be the biggest compliment, but like I sure wish our guys did that. Yeah, right? Their fans just get to kick their feet up. Like I can't remember the exact stat, but like they're talking about SGA. Like he only plays like half the fourth quarters. They're up by so much, and he's still scoring all these points and free throws. But yeah, I respect them for that. Like how hard they always play. Like that's culture to me. And that's
how you win championships.
We can't seem to get that to stick around here. So credit to them for doing that in the regular season, all 82,
I was going to say from that game. Yeah, I was going to say tied. The game was tied with 3 minutes to go. So regardless of, I know the Thunder didn't shoot well. We couldn't hit a free throw to save our lives. But I mean, it wasn't just them missing shots. Like we were playing really good defense. Ant's been on a tear, but Julius he's been on, struggling a little bit lately. He was 2 of 13 in that game. Like that's just that can't happen. Yeah, he did not play well. Terrence Shannon Jr. though, like he came out and he played great. I don't know what it is. He plays great against the Thunder, and then everybody else, it's like, oh, we're just going to give him 6 minutes, 7 minutes. That's kind of frustrating. And I know like early in that game too, Jalen Clark only played 7 minutes in that game. I mean, you got to get him at least 15, right? But
10-0 when they do.
That's tough to see.
And that's not a lot of minutes.
I think Rob played pretty well in the couple stints. He played 12 minutes. I thought he played pretty well in the time he was in. So it's at least nice to see Rob and Terrence playing well in that environment against that team. Because that's the landmark. That's the end of the road in the Western Conference. So to just get them in those kind of situations, I think that was good.
Yeah, Julius, that was the main concern. It like the playoffs was bad, turnover machine. Jalen Williams is a good matchup the Thunder have to go up against him, and he didn't even play. But Julius just looks like he is so sped up and just gets that Carl Cat Towns like spaz mode going on against OKC, and you can just see these turnovers coming a mile away before they happen. And you need him to give you something against OKC. But you're right, like Shannon, like some of these things, this is what you need to be ready when it's playoffs, when you go up against them, be like, all right, this matchup is a Terrence Shannon matchup. Don't stash him at the end of the bench. Mike Conley cannot play against OKC. Like it just can't really happen. He can't get anywhere with his dribble, and they just pressure the hell out of him, and he can't even really initiate the offense. So that's why you just got to plug your nose and play Rob and hope like he just doesn't do his normal, 1 or 2 dumbass things like every other possession, like, and then he just give you some positives. Like he did some nice things for you, and then he'll have like that spinning, running like hook finger roll in the middle of the lane with like 17 on the shot clock, and you're like, dude, have you ever played basketball before? Like, what the fuck why are you calling your number like that? But that's what kind of the pressure defense that OKC deploys. That's what it'll do to you. And that's why those two guys are good, like in that matchup, because they can actually get to the rim and get in the lane, as opposed to some of these other guys who are just kind of like trying to space and not really do anything. But looking at just how that game went down, it's like, what would be our path to somehow knock them off? Like you just need Ant to be even another level up. And we're seeing some of that, but it's like I feel like we need even he'd have to average like 37 in the series or something. I mean, it'd have to be just like one of these all-time, series to from an individual standpoint to get past the Thunder. So that's kind of what I was just kind of taking stock watching that game of like, who do I think can play against them and who can't. And Nas is another one where I'm like, he's a turnover waiting to happen. But he knocked a few down. Like he's another guy who can settle himself down, I think, better than Julius. And Rudy, I thought, was another night where Rudy was like, hey man, aside from the free throws, which like, I'm not, everybody was doing that. And that you kind of expect that out of Rudy a little bit, but like he was holding it down in the paint. So I liked Rudy, and Jaden's obviously going to be involved, like Terrence and Rob. I don't know why that wasn't a Clark game. Sometimes you don't. It's like, why isn't he playing? That, like I mentioned the other day, that Kings game that we lost, played like 6 minutes. Like, what's going on here? Mm-hmm. So you saw it a little bit last night then too. Like this rotation is like very much a work in progress still, to the point where we had to play Ant the entire second half and overtime. But in the first half, it's like Terrence Shannon didn't get in until like 8 minutes left in the second quarter. And Rob gets a little time. And Jalen Clark didn't really, he got like 4 minutes in the first half. And then it took into the third quarter to realize, yeah, this guy, no one's playing defense tonight. You probably should have been rolling with him for a lot more of this game.
Well, they got to give Dante a little more of a break.
I think Dante
so too. Playing 38 minutes. I understand, there's an extra 5 minutes in overtime, but you can't just cut his minutes down to 29, 30, whatever, depending on how he's shooting. I don't know. And maybe even a little less than that, because these guys need to play. These guys are talented players. Jalen Clark, like we've preached about this a while. Like I know there's the fun little 15-minute stat right now, but he should be playing 20 minutes. Like at bare minimum, I feel like he just does so many things well to a winning culture.
It makes me think, like, are we playing, like, is this too many guys to play? It's like the first half is like a tryout, and then you kind of punt the first half. They don't show up ready to play almost any night. Like that first quarter defense or first half. What did we give up to the Pelicans last night? 68 points. Rudy's taking a 3 in the corner. Like, what the fuck is going on? And then you kind of realize, or maybe that's what Finch is doing. He's like, hey, okay, I've seen a half. Here's the guys who aren't going to get in the second half. And Rob didn't get in. I don't think Terrence got in either, which pisses me off. That, like, I know he didn't really seem like he had it, but you can't, like, it's tough for me. We really do need him to emerge as a bench scorer. Our bench is just getting waxed like almost every night, aside from Nas. And you have Terrence Shannon play such a great game against OKC, and you're like, all right, this is what we were thinking was going to happen this year. And then a couple games later, it's like, well, he can't even really get on the court. Is that just the learning curve? I don't know. What do you guys attribute that to? Or is that just Finch, like, just not trusting younger players?
I think that's just mainly Finch not trusting his younger players. We've seen it his whole time here. He just keeps a tight lineup, and I feel like he's only doing it this year is because everybody's been talking about it and that he's not opening up the rotation. Now that those Nikhil minutes are open, he kind of has to force to give it to somebody, even if he doesn't want to. He'd rather just shuffle it down to a 7-man rotation. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know why. Finch is just a stubborn old man. He's just stuck in his old ways. He just won't let the new guys get out there and play a little bit.
Him and KOC, they need to, like, go out and take a shot together or something. In the world. It's just ridiculous, man. They're just, like, stuck to whatever they're having. It is frustrating because you can't play Dante. We just mentioned Dante's minutes. Mike, you can't play Mike that many minutes. So it's like, who's going to pick up all these minutes? And
Jalen.
Right now it should be Jalen. It should be Terrence. Like, Rob should play a little more. There's minutes to go around. I mean, they're there. And especially, like, depending on matchup, you can go smaller. It doesn't always have to be a Julius Nas Gobert 3-man rotation. Like, Jaden can slide into the 4.
That's what I was wanting last night. I thought that was
100%.
like, I'm like, Finch just ain't seeing it. Like Julius, I know he bailed you out a little bit in OT.
Yeah,
but we were in overtime because of his ass. And Finch just was continuing to like, they're like saying, people were like, yeah, he didn't let him close. He took him out with like 2.5 minutes in the fourth. Like to me, that was way too late. And I'm like, get Jaden in here. Like the Pelicans are playing a very small lineup. Like you could play him at the 4. And he's a guy he's lost minutes to Mike at the end of some of these games. Like that can't be. And we saw him at the end of that game hit a big bank shot too.
Huge after the steal.
Yeah.
Because if that play doesn't get made, they don't win the game.
Exactly. And the Rudy 3. That
that had something to do with
the
it.
Butterfly effect of that attempt caused us to win the game. But I don't know, man. Like Julius, I know he's the name people are kind of tossing out as like a lot of the stuff. It's like if this team just had a point guard, right? And then you would just slide Nas in at the 4, and Julius would be the guy that you'd probably have to send out in a trade. But he did have a good playoff run. I think he like, we were talking about like these guys don't ever come ready to play. That's like, we don't have that culture like the OKC Thunder. And then the playoff Wolves show up. And I think Julius is just like more than happy to opt into that style. He ain't always trying to like haul ass back and forth and play defense. He's a lollygagger in transition, just like everybody. Not to single him out, but like there is some like. But then think about that first couple of weeks of the season. He looked fucking awesome, and he can do a lot of things on the court. And when he's trying, he's the fucking weapon to have on the team. But Mike, I'm just looking at the minutes here. Mike played 13 last night. Shannon 8, Rob 7, Clark bare minimum 15. Of course, we've got to meet the requirements to guarantee a dub. Rudy with a lot of minutes, but yeah, I mean you can add a lot of some of these guys. You just add an extra 5 because of the OT, but these little 1-and-1s, we play them again tomorrow night. I feel like it's always a split. And the fact that we somehow like rallied and pulled out this win, I'm like, God, we're all just in for a huge kick in the balls tomorrow night against these Pelicans.
Gonna need another 40 burger from Ant. We should talk a little. He has been just on fire on the offensive end. I don't know if you guys saw the
it's like the best he's ever played.
For sure. I don't know if you guys saw the stat that came out about like the points per game in the last 5, and then they took away the free throws. Yeah. And it's comical because it's like, oh yeah, Luka loses, I don't know, 9 points a game. SGA is not even in the top 5 anymore. It's kind of funny to look at that. But Ant, without free throws, still averaging 30.5 points a game in the last 5. So he's just been on a tear. Seems to be a little bit better about getting to his spots. It's fun to see though. Fun to just keep seeing the growth with him.
Most points over a 6-game span this year, 230. It's too bad a couple of those we just pissed away W's against.
Yeah,
in cup play, dude. Fuck. Against the Suns and what was the other one? The Kings, I think, was the next game. And then I saw this stat come out. I guess it was yesterday. Over his last 6 games, Ant has 150 points, made 50 plus field goals, and 25 plus free throws just in the second half in OT. And the last person to do that was Kobe in 2007. So it's like he's really, starting to solidify himself. I think I can't remember what broadcast. Maybe it was Jim Peterson was talking like that. You always talk about who's top 5. Mm-hmm. The 4 I think are pretty well set. Luka, Shea, Giannis, Jokic. And to me, Ant is 5, based off what we see. We get to watch him every night. And he's the most fucking entertaining guy to watch too. As much as we complain and nitpick about all this stuff, it's like, Jesus, man, like looking at that game last night, like he completely bailed us out from a terrible loss that we probably would have lost that game even just last year. So that's and that was the night before I was watching some ball, and it was like Denver lost to Dallas, Houston lost at Utah, And I'm like, standings, whatever. It's so early. Plus, our team doesn't care about standings other than staying out of the play-in. But I'm like, yeah, wouldn't that be great to, pick up a game here on a couple of these teams after we fucked around a little bit. And then we're just down like 15 to the Pelicans. Worst team in the league, like just classic Wolves. After we finally win a couple games against winning teams, we got to go drop one to the worst fucking team in the league. Just a disgrace. And we're back to our old ways. Any win has to also feel like a loss per company policy. Yep. And with the training staff. Any Wolves stuff? We're closing in on an hour here, just flapping our gums. Going once,
going twice.
Shout outs, and then we can skedaddle. Anybody got anything they want to shout out before we depart?
Jake?
No, not off the top of my head. I don't.
I got a shout out. I got one. Just popped in my head now. I know you mentioned it earlier in a text chain, but I'm going to shout out these Chicago Bears. It wouldn't be a week on the pod without me talking about the Bears. I will say that game in Philly, that was on Black Friday, right? That was the best game that they've played this year. They ran the ball just down the Eagles' throats and played pretty good defense. That being said, I'm curious, like if we can come up with a stat, or I don't know how you would look this up, quantify this, but has there been a number 1 seed this late in the season that has missed the playoffs? Because boy, if anybody can do it, this is the squad to do it. They are very fraudulent. We talk about frauds too, like all the time when it comes to playoffs, number 1 seeds. I don't know that I've seen the Bears being the number 1 seed right now is kind of hysterical to me.
I think they have the 6th best odds to win the NFC as the 1 seed. So that no one's really believing it. And I don't even think Bears fans until they beat Philly. And that's more of a indictment on Philly. A tush push fumble goes their way. Like, when does that ever happen? I mean, they run for like 200 yards on the Eagles. They're just like a hot mess right now. I think they caught them at the right time. Friday afternoon, weird game. I don't know. I like you said, I'm not buying into them at all. I don't look. That's another thing about this Vikes situation. Doesn't it feel like it is a pretty wide open year, and we just fucking shit the bed? Like it could have been. What do you think they would have been if we had Darnold? Where do you think we're at if they just brought him back and didn't spend $30 million on a couple other free agents?
I mean, probably. I mean, they're better than they are now. They're undefeated. No, I don't think so. But I mean, it's funny because we just talked about the Bears, but like earlier you mentioned Seattle with Darnold, and like, we'll see how that story ends. And then, we feel the same way about the Swine. And it's like, well, who is going to come out of the NFC?
I thought Rams, and then look what they did.
Like, yeah, right. And then they lose to Carolina. So I don't know, man. It's a goofy year for sure.
Tampa.
The AFC too. The Bills, like they're looking. We watched that
Chiefs. First. Are they even going to make playoffs? This is what we dreamed for.
What was the first game of the season? That Bills Ravens. I guess was that first game or was that Sunday night? I can't remember.
Sunday night, yeah.
That first game was like, holy shit, these two teams are really good. And now it's like they're kind of not doing great. You mentioned Daniel Jones and the Colts earlier, and they've fallen
good, but
they've fallen way down the standings. They're not even in first anymore. It's like this could be a very weird playoffs.
Yeah. Last thing, I forgot to bring this up. I don't really have much of a shout out, but I guess shout out to Quezzy for granting Adam Thielen his release from this car fire. What'd you guys think about that? Great trade, by the way.
Yeah, it is what it was. He wasn't doing anything anyway, so thanks, I guess, for the open spot on the bench.
Yeah, my first thought when I saw that was like, how many other guys are like, can I go too?
Can we get out of here, please?
Well, me.
Jefferson's like, hey.
Yeah, that might be a topic for an off season, like the whole Jefferson situation. you're just wasting this guy. And, you know, they don't, it's not like NBA where guys are like asking out. But man, if there ever was a guy that probably should, what was it? Two catches for 4 yards, was it on Sunday?
Yeah, more completions to the Seattle Seahawks than Jets for Max Rosemer last week.
Oh man, double
checks out.
Tough one, Max.
Yeah, hey,
hate to see it.
We're all like, God, you know what? Thank God JJ's back this week. Watch him like get hurt first quarter, and Max is right back out there, and we're like, oh, dude. Good luck.
I just saw something interesting real quick too. I saw something interesting come across just now, but Giannis kind of looking like he's on the way out in Milwaukee. I don't know what that means, but he was available to play tonight and then left with a strained calf. It's one of those things that pops up and you're like, is that actually true, or
general soreness maybe?
Yeah, what's going on there? That's, again, I haven't seen the play. It's just popped up, but
I've been reading about that today. Doc Rivers came out and was like, nobody's said anything to us about any sort of trade. He's never mentioned any of it. And this is kind of going back to what we heard. I don't know if this was over the summer or maybe whatever it was with when Shams was kind of leaking. He's like, he's interested in potentially looking at other just some like vague, like, what even is this? And I guess Windhorst was on, I don't know if it was their pregame show tonight or something, or maybe it was one of the shows NBA Today, where he was saying that Giannis basically told them that he wanted to go be a Knick. Like, so he's already kind of decided he wants to go to New York.
Lame.
So I don't, like, who knows what to believe? Like, it does seem like, as good as Giannis is, that Bucks team, where are they really going? Unless like, you know, the Knicks and Cavs both have injuries, but even the Pistons are a freight train right now somehow. But it seems like he is going to be ending up somewhere else. And all I ask, just stay out of the West. I know the Spurs, that was another name. The Spurs were trying to get their assets lined up to try to get him. It's like him and Wembanyama. Like, we got Anthony Edwards. We're like, what a generational player to have on your team. And we got to go up against fucking OKC. And then, like, if they have Wemby and Giannis, like, get fucking real. What a bad state of affairs that would be for us to have to deal with. And we're like, hey, we got,
put us in the East.
Got Dante and Conley's still playing. Mike, he can go 1 for 5. What up? Yeah, monitor the situation. But yeah, Andrew, he had a good article last week of just kind of like, everybody's just like, trade for a point guard. Like, that's fucking, that's what we need. It's not easy to make any trades, like the way the fucking aprons are and all the way we're pretty tight up against it with the cap. So it's like, even if you get a point guard, like, you're gutting your team to do it. So I don't know. This is kind of the squad, which, like you were saying, Jake, it's like hard to think this is going to be a group that's going to overcome OKC in the playoffs. Maybe maybe 6 games, give us one extra game in May to watch. That'd be sweet. All right, fellas, good pod. What are we getting into? Probably have to be back here talking about the same shit next week after the Commanders come into town. Looking forward to it. We might have to just pivot to like fantasy football for the rest of the way. Take a 10,000 foot view of the league instead of watching whatever it is we're watching on Sundays.
Red zone.
Yeah, Scott Hansen, please save our lives. We are on life support right now. All right, fellas, everybody be safe out there. We will catch you next week. Take it easy.